Namaste. These video clips are made by the Tat-Tvam-Asi Trust in Chennai for spreading the word that in December on 23rd and 24th, 2017, the Tat-Tvam-Asi Trust and Sri Madhusai Divanapalli's Foundation for Healing Beings, Canada, have jointly organized an international Vedic Astrology conference. Tat-Tvam-Asi Trust was founded by Dr. Sankara Bhagavadpada in January 2011. The present video astrology conference seeks to share the astrology work of the Tat-Tvam-Asi school with participants interested in Vedic astrology. These participants are in India in the conference venue and in many other parts of the world. The conference is organized as a hybrid meeting, teleconference. I am Kannan Subramanian, Secretary and Trustee of Tat-Tvam-Asi Trust, Chennai.
So, is it necessary to meet the Vedic astrologer every year, or will it be sufficient to meet the Vedic astrologer only when you have a problem?
Like an annual health checkup. You go.
Because since it's an evolving understanding of life, so how would you describe the best way to understand Vedic astrology and how the impact of your life is based on your chart?
From my experience, I can say that I see two kinds of people, and somebody comes with a very burning problem and they want an explanation as to why the problem has erupted in the first place, and then they want a solution in terms of remedial measures and at least a mention of how long the agony will last, and then they take the remedial measures and they go away, and they may not come back again. Now this is one kind of people who have come in great desperation when they're not able to bear the onslaughts of suffering. And then there's a second category of people who are more intelligent naturally. They come every time there is a very difficult situation in life which they are not able to understand. Then they come, and now they become not merely curious, they become more persevering and more intelligent and more spiritual. So they want to develop a deeper understanding, and the deeper understanding gives them peace, gives them clarity, gives them solace in the heart. So every time there is an enigmatic situation in life, they come for a consultation. So now this may be every 6 months or every 1 year. So if an astrologer is having a practice for 10 years, then he may see his good client come to him 10 times in 10 years. Now this is the second category of consulting people. And so there are different kinds of people, and in my experience I find that I practically have a lifelong connection with the people who come to consult me. They come again and again, and they are serious. They are not on the bordering on the frivolous. They are serious people, and they intend to learn. And many of them are perceptive enough to tell me that you are teaching us astrology differently. This is not the astrology we get when we go to somebody else. This is completely different. And Malleshwari ji, she told me this. And So it depends on who comes and how the astrologer even talks and how he communicates.
In fact, to qualify your point of whether you go once a year to an astrologer, there are also methods, I think, where they do a complete analysis of the patient's chart for the entire year. And so what happens is you have a complete reading for the entire year, so you know all the ups and downs which are to take place or rather which have taken place in the preceding months of the year. So you have a complete run up of the whole year, so you kind of are already well prepared. So those people they're quite diligent about it, and they're quite in a way I would say anxious to know what the future holds for them. They're not frightened. They're quite equipped to kind of deal with whatever it is. So for them, what happens is they come for this thing and they get their entire reading and they refer to it. So as and when something happens, they go back to the notes that they have got, and then they find that it is tallying with whatever has already been predicted. So sometimes what happens, there have been certain remedial measures which have been asked to be followed, which they have perhaps not followed, and maybe they find that, oh my God, they feel a little guilty that they have taken the trouble of getting this yearly reading, but they have not really kept done justice to that reading. So then you'll find that they may come in between.
This is technically called Varshafal analysis. The fruit of the year, Varshafal. And some of my more mature clients, they ask for this Varshafal, especially when the family is going through a very difficult period, like somebody in the family is having cancer. Then the whole family is very concerned as to what is going to happen. So then they have the Varshafal and they study the documents, the prognosis, astrological prognosis, how the year is going to play out, and then they do the remedial measures. And this is, in truth, Chandra, it's a whole new culture. It's a whole new culture, which is actually a branch of a spiritual culture. And astrology is mathematical, astrology is philosophical, astrology is like a Hindu darshana. So it's a culture you got to learn and get accustomed to, and you immensely benefit. But you must be fortunate to get that benefit.
It's almost a subject like science which you have to follow to understand life better.
Well, if you study science, then you understand a lot of technological things which are happening in the world. But science will not help you to deal with your suffering, and will not help you to calm the conflict in your mind. Now, astrology is different. Astrology gives you brilliant, spectacular clarity about every event which is happening in your life, the good events and the bad events. And this is, I have no hesitation in saying that good astrologers have got the third eye opened. Third eye opened. I said this to my Jyotish Guru, the late Professor Vinod Kumar Chaudhary. I told him, Professor Chaudhary, I'm saying this to a number of people, that this is the third eye. And he said, you are absolutely right. It is the third eye. You know, as a Vedic astrologer, you know it to be true. And because it gives you the power of seeing, and into the past, into the entire life, into the future. And without that, you're actually blind. You're actually blind. Any intelligent man will want to have that third eye. And the way the astrology is described in the Vedas, see, the Veda Purusha is there. So you imagine Veda to be in the form of an anthropomorphic figure, Veda Purusha. And every organ of the Veda Purusha is likened to one of the limbs of the Vedas. Now, the eye of the Veda Purusha is likened to Jyotirvidya or Vedic astrology. And the function of Vedic astrology is said to be in the scriptures, Jyotisha Mayanam Chakshuho. That is, the place of Jyotirvidya is, Ayanam means Sthanam. Jyotisha Mayana Chakshuhu, the eyes. So it's the eye of seeing. So if you don't have these eyes, you can't see. So that is the power of this Jyotish.
Okay, thank you.